Good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon, sir.
Less than 5 minutes. I want you all to revise the previous topics. There is only one topic pending. So we'll complete the topic and do some problems from textbook. Okay. So keep revising. I'll be back. We'll get started. So the last topic that was pending is LC oscillations, right?
Sir,
Please tell me.
sir, Saturday we wrote exam, no, sir, on the 5th lesson. Sir,
Okay.
after you complete this lesson, can you solve some each possible questions from all the lessons, sir?
I will give assignment. You guys work and come. After that, I'll solve.
Okay, sir.
I'll definitely do it, but I want you people to work before that. Okay. Then
Okay,
only
sir.
you'll get doubts, or else it will be like I'm solving everything. Okay. So that's the last topic, guys. We'll see LC oscillations. So we have seen RL circuit, RC circuit, and LCR circuit, right? So if you see combination of R and L are there, R and C are there, LC and R are there, right? Whereas if you look at an LC circuit, so this is the only circuit which is not connected to a battery. What do I mean by that? Means you don't have any source at all. If you observe these three, you have a source. Whereas when you look at the LC, no, there is no source at all. Then the question is, where is this particular circuit getting the power from? The answer is very simple. We know that capacitor is a device which is capable of holding charge, right? So when you take a fully charged capacitor and connect it across an inductor of length L, okay? When I connect it across an inductor of length L, then what will happen? You guys tell me. This is fully charged.
Flow of charges from capacitor to inductor.
Yes. So when current is flowing from the capacitor to the inductor, what will happen? Remember, when this is getting discharged, right, it is going to lose different magnitudes of charge at different instant, accept? Right, the capacitor will not supply a value of current which is going to have a constant magnitude. Rather, it will supply a current with varying magnitude. So when this value of I is going to change, what will happen across the inductor according to its principle? What will happen to the inductor? Tell me. So there will be a back EMF that will get generated, which is also called as self-induced EMF. So there will be a self-induced EMF that will get generated, right? So when self-induced EMF is there, can I say that inductor, which was initially having no EMF at all, means no energy at all stored in it, is starting to gain some energy within itself? So what exactly is happening? Initially, you had energy in the form of electrostatic. So you had electrostatic potential energy. And due to the discharge of this capacitor, the inductor is gaining some magnetic potential energy. Right? As a result of which, there will be one particular instance at which the capacitor will be fully discharged. And the inductor will be fully having the back EMF, right? So if this kind of an oscillation takes place between the capacitor and inductor, that is the device which is called as an LC oscillator. Okay. So it's called as an LC oscillator. The main application of this device is in the field of communications. So what do I mean by communications here? See, there is 15th chapter, right? There is, if you go and look at your textbook part 2, the 15th chapter is known as communications. In that, you will be learning about different kinds of modulations, frequency modulation, amplitude modulation, then pulse phase modulation. Okay. So you know what is FM? You people hear it, right? At least you would have known it, even if you don't hear it regularly. So you know what is FM? FM stands for frequency modulation. The audio signals that keep coming, we keep hearing songs and all those things, right? So what exactly happens is, see, generally there are two things. One is called as message signal, and there is something called as a carrier wave. See, for example, you guys know what is the meaning of broadcast, right? When something is being broadcasted, means being sent to many people at the same instance. For example, you have this option in WhatsApp also. We say WhatsApp broadcast. So what is the advantage of it? You just can put the numbers in the list, click on that message and send. It will go to everyone, right? You can create a broadcast. In a similar way, this frequency modulation or AM, whatever the radio that you're hearing, right? It is also broadcasted. So when generally you're broadcasting something in terms of communication, in terms of voice signals, there are two things. One is called as a message signal. See, for example, I'm speaking now, right? I'm communicating with the number of people that are there in this meeting. If suppose I want to send it across few thousands or lakhs of people, if I have to broadcast the class, then what am I supposed to do? I need to choose some communication channel, right? So the thing that I'm speaking is what is called as the message signal. But generally for broadcasting on real time, since everything is wireless, right? Since everything is wireless, this message signal cannot go to all those people without loss. So what do I mean by without loss? Like with whatever intensity you're hearing my voice now, it will not be the same when it goes to the other end if you don't do certain modifications to it. Because the message signal will generally be weak. Are you guys able to understand? I'm trying to explain the real-time application of it. Why you're studying this topic again. So if this message signal has to be sent to a longer distance, you need to mix it with a wave called as a carrier wave. So generally, if I have to put what a carrier wave is nothing but a high frequency wave. So what do I mean by high frequency wave? It is a high frequency wave because high frequencies are generally easy to transmit to a longer distance. So the question is, message signal is generated by me. Who is going to generate this carrier wave? If I need a high frequency signal, who is going to help me to get this input? And the answer to that is an LC oscillator. So an LC oscillator works on the principle of continuous transfer of energy from electrostatic to magnetic and the vice versa. So again, what will happen? Once the capacitor is discharged, what will happen? You guys tell me logically. Once the capacitor is discharged, is the process going to stop? Can you guys guess and tell me what will happen? Guys,
There'll be flow of charge from inductor to capacitor.
That's right. So there will be a reverse flow of charge from the inductor to the capacitor. Again, the capacitor will start getting charged. Means when the capacitor is getting discharged, that is, it is losing its potential energy. That will be gained by the inductor in the form of magnetic potential energy, right? Now, what will happen? Whatever energy this is having, it will give it back to the capacitor in the process of recharging it. Like how your mobile phone works, you charge it again. After some time, you put it across the charger, it will again get charged. No? Same as the principle, right? So there will be a continuous flow of charging and discharging taking place between these two devices so that the total energy of the system is conserved. Okay, the total energy of the system will be conserved. In the sense, observe. Initially, UE is equal to Q square divided by 2C. So Q is C, Qm is the maximum charge that the capacitor would have stored. So UB is 0. Similarly, when this goes here, right, this will be half into Ka square, and it is something like the mechanical energy. Initially, the potential, like they are treating this as potential energy and this as kinetic energy. Just to take a similarity, guys, it doesn't mean that inductor has kinetic energy. No. Just to create a similarity between a mechanical oscillator and an LC oscillator, they are explaining this. So what will happen after some time is, this would have lost some energy and this would have gained some energy, such that the energy in the capacitor is not equal to 0 and the energy in the inductor is also not equal to 0. Now what will happen after some time? The capacitor is completely discharged. So this inductor will have some energy of half into L into Im square. After that, what will happen? Again, the inductor will start supplying some current. Observe, now the capacitor will get charged in the opposite direction. Okay. Now the capacitor will get charged in the opposite direction. Then when the capacitor is fully charged, the inductor will have no energy in it. So this kind of a cycle is what is called as LC oscillation. And by this kind of a process being happened, there will be a continuous frequency of 1 by root LC that will get generated. So one point to be noted here is, this is a value which is exactly equal to the resonance frequency in LCR circuit. Okay, but don't get confused between both. There the condition is different. In LCR circuit, what did I say? When is the circuit said to be in resonance condition? When the current is having maximum value. Whereas here, the frequency of oscillations that will get generated is 1 by root LC, that depends on the magnitude of LNC. I told you about the carrier wave, right? So whatever is the frequency that you require for that process to be carried out, you can adjust the value of LNC accordingly so that you get a frequency of desired output. So omega is equal to 1 by root LC, or F is equal to 1 by 2 by root LC. All these mathematical expressions you need not study because it is not there, only quantitative study is there. Okay. So all these mathematical expressions are second degree linear equations which you cannot solve. You don't have it in your syllabus. Even in your math, you don't have it. You have only solution for first degree differential equations. Okay. So that is all with respect to this LC oscillator case. If you're clear with this, we will start doing the exercise problems. So with this, the term one questions are over. We will solve some problems. Shall we proceed? Yes. Now you guys need to answer. So 7.1. So there is a 100 ohm resistor which is connected to a 220 volt and 50 hertz AC supply. What does this 220 volt mean? It is the RMS value, right? So R is equal to 100 ohm and V RMS is equal to 220 volt. Frequency is equal to 50 hertz. What is the RMS value of current in the circuit? What is IRMS? What is IRMS, guys? At least this you can answer. Very simple. IRMS is equal to VRMS divided by R. So 220 divided by R is 100, which will be 2.2 ampere. So the RMS value of current that is flowing through the circuit is 2.2 ampere. Please make a note of it. Next is, what is the net power consumed over a full cycle? So how do we calculate the power, guys? So what do we mean by net power consumed over a full cycle? They are asking the average power. Go revisit your notes and check and tell me what is the average power in a complete cycle formula.
I square R.
Is it I square R? Check your notes and tell me. Is that what I taught? Check your notes. I showed a big derivation, no?
So that I naught E naught by 2, sir.
I naught E naught கிடையாது. I naught E naught by 2. Okay, you're saying E naught by root. There is something that is missing. I naught E naught
Cos
by
alpha, sir. Cos phi.
yes. What is that cos phi? Power factor, right?
Power factor.
So it is ERMS. The right formula that we would have seen is ERMS into IRMS into cos phi. So what is ERMS? 220. IRMS is 2.2. Cos of what is the phase difference between EMF and current for a resistor? Cos of 0 degrees. So it will be 484 watt. So the average power consumed in a full cycle is given as 484 watt.
Sir, ERMS and VRMS are both same, sir.
No. ERMS in this problem is 220. IRMS you calculate as 2.2 into cos of 0 degrees.
No, sir, this ERMS, sir.
ERMS and VRMS, yes, they are same. Done. Seven point. The peak value of an AC supply is 300 volt. What is its RMS value? So E naught is 300 volt. What is ERMS? It is E naught divided by root 2. So it is 300 divided by root 2 or 300 root 2 by 2. So it is 150 into root 2, guys. Okay, 150 into root 2 is 1.414. Multiply both, you will get the answer. The answer should come somewhere around 216 something.
Sir, what is the unit, sir?
You tell. Look at the formula type. E naught, what is the unit I wrote?
Watt, sir. Volt.
ERMS is also volt only. Because you are calculating what? RMS voltage. Failure. This volt.
Okay.
B. The RMS value of a current in AC circuit is 10 ampere. What is its peak current? So IRMS is 10 ampere. I naught is how much? Root 2 into 10. So that will be 14.14 ampere. Done?
Yes, sir.
Try the next one. There is an inductor of 44 millihenry connected to a 220 volt supply and the frequency is 50 hertz. Determine the RMS value of current in the circuit. So IRMS is equal to how much? What is IRMS? Yeah, right. It has ERMS. What is it? ERMS divided by XL. So ERMS is 220 divided by XL is how much? It is omega into L. So 220 divided by omega is how much? 2 pi into F into L. Right, F is given, it is going to be 50. So 220 divided by 2 pi into 50 into L is 44 into 10 power minus 3. 1 by 2 into 5, 10, 10 into 2, 20 pi into 10 power minus 3. So calculate this value, those many amperes will be the answer. Try the next one. So there is a 60 microfarad capacitor that is connected to a 110 volt and 60 hertz AC supply. Determine the RMS value of the current in the circuit. So ERMS is 110 volt. Capacitance is 60 microfarad, that is 60 into 10 power minus 6 farad. Okay, then determine the RMS value of current. Now you guys tell me what is the formula. IRMS is equal to ERMS divided by think of the logic and tell me what would be the answer. IRMS divided by ERMS divided by
XC.
Correct. XC. So ERMS is 110 divided by XC is how much? 1 divided by omega C. Correct. Omega will go to the numerator. Omega C into 110. Omega is 2 pi F into C into 110. Substitute all the values and calculate. 2 pi into F is 60. Frequency is given, no? Frequency is 60. Capacitance is 60 into 10 power minus 6 into 110. Calculate. Those many amperes will be the answer. (7.5). In exercise 7.3 and 7.4, what is the net power absorbed by each circuit over a complete cycle? 7.3, it is an inductor. 7.4, it is a capacitor. Okay. In exercises 7.3 and 7.4, what is the net power absorbed by each circuit over the complete cycle? Explain your answer. Answer is what? Net power across an inductor and net power across a capacitor is how much? Right. It is 0 because I told you just now. What is the average power for a complete cycle? E RMS into I RMS into cos phi. So the value of phi for inductor and capacitor is 90 degrees. So when you substitute those values, average power comes out to be 0. Okay. Similarly, 7.6. I'm only going to give you the formula, you people do it, okay? 7.6. What is the resonant frequency? Omega R is 1 by root LC. So L is given, C is given, substitute it, you will be able to understand. Similarly, what is the value of Q? Q is 1 by R into root of L divided by C. Okay. R is given, L by L and C are also given, substitute it, you will get the answer. Similarly, 7.7, you guys tell me. What is the answer? There is a charged 30 microfarad capacitor connected to a 27 millihenry inductor. What is the angular frequency of free oscillations of the circuit? So what concept is it based on? Charged capacitor connected across an inductor. What is it?
LC oscillation.
LC oscillator, right? So for an LC oscillator, what is the frequency?
1 by root LC.
Very good. What is that, angular frequency or normal frequency? They asked angular frequency. No, omega is equal to 1 by root LC. So read the question carefully. If they ask only frequency, then it should be 1 by 2 by root LC. L is given, C is given, substitute it, calculate, that will be the answer. Okay. Similarly, 7.8. Suppose the initial charge on the capacitor in exercise 7.7 is 6 millicoulomb. Okay. So initial charge is 6 millicoulomb or 6 into 10 power minus 3 coulomb. Then what is the total energy stored in the circuit initially? How will you calculate? If you revisit the diagram, initially what will be the total energy present when the capacitor is fully charged? It is only the electrostatic potential energy of how much value? Qm square divided by 2c, correct? So it will be Qm square divided by 2c. So calculate it. For 7.8, what will be the formula? Qm square divided by 2c. So Qm is given, C is given, substitute it, you will get the answer. What is the total energy at the later time? What did I say LC oscillator works on? So if initially the total energy is Qm square by 2c plus 0, okay, what will be the final energy at any later time?
Same, sir. It's 0 plus QMs.
Why is it? Because it works on the energy conservation principle. That is Qm square divided by 2c plus 0. Right, I told that point. So have this in your mind. This can be asked this year. This kind of a question is possible because it's worth 1 mark. The point that you're supposed to know in this problem is LC oscillator works on the principle of conservation of energy. (7.9). See, there is a series LCR circuit where R is 20 ohm, L is 1.5 Henry, and C is equal to 35 microfarad. They are connected to a variable frequency 200 volt AC supply. This 200 volt is RMS value. Okay. .200 volt AC supply. See, mark this sentence as important. When the frequency of the supply equals the natural frequency of circuit. Can you guess what does that mean? When the frequency of the supply equals the natural frequency of circuit, this condition is what is called as resonance condition. So there are two ways to state resonance condition. In an LCR circuit, that they will say that the current is maximum. That is one of the ways of stating. And the second way of stating is natural frequency will be, the frequency of the supply will be equal to the natural frequency of the circuit. That is also resonance. So in this condition, what is the average power transferred to the circuit in one complete cycle? You know, you'll be able to answer this question. See, mark it as important. You'll be able to answer this question only when you know what happens to an LCR circuit at resonance condition. Go revisit your notes and tell me. During resonance condition, what will happen to, sorry?
XL is equal to XC.
XL is equal to XC is okay. Due to that, what will be the value of the impedance of circuit?
It will be maximum, sir.
Impedance will not be maximum. The impedance will be minimum. Current will be maximum. Z will be equal to R. So this is another important word. They can ask this also as an MCQ. During resonance condition, what will happen? Z will be minimum and the circuit will behave like a purely resistive circuit. Though inductor and capacitor are still present, their contribution for the impedance is zero. Do you guys remember this? Because see, I is equal to E divided by root of R square plus XL minus XC the whole square. During resonance condition, what will happen to XL and XC? They both are equal.
It cancels.
So they get cancelled, it becomes zero. So the denominator will be R, means the Z becomes equal to R. What I'm trying to say is, in resonance condition, a series LCR circuit is very much similar to only a pure resistive circuit. Okay, so if you know this answer, then you can calculate what is the average power transfer to the circuit in one complete cycle. Average power will be how much? E RMS square divided by R. So E RMS is how much? 200, the whole square divided by R is 20. So L and C in this question are given only to confuse you. It is 2000 watt or 2 kilowatt. Done?
What was the final answer, sir?
2000 watt or 2 kilowatt. It is only one step. See, 200 square divided by 20. When you solve this, you will get 2000 watt. Okay. 7.10 per. A radio can tune over the frequency range of a portion of megawatt broadcast band. So the bandwidth that is given is 800 kilohertz to 1200 kilohertz. Means that particular radio can be tuned between these two frequencies. The least frequency that it can be tuned to is 800 kilohertz. The maximum frequency is 1200 kilohertz. Okay, well, if the LC circuit has an effective impedance inductance of 200 microhenry, so inductance is fixed, 200 microhenry. What must be the range of its variable capacitor? If this tuner circuit is there, no, tuner circuit is also something similar to an oscillator, right? So what is the frequency within which it is ranging? It is 1 by can I write frequency is equal to 1 by 2 pi into root of L into C? Okay, what are all the parameters varying, guys? What are the parameters that are varying? It's very simple. F is varying, L is varying. Correct? F is varying and L is not varying, L is fixed. C is varying. That's what they ask. What must be the range of the variable capacity? Inductance is fixed, it is 200 microhenry. So if I take the least frequency, I'll write 1 by 2 pi into root of 200 into 10 power minus 6 into C will be maximum. Did you understand what I did? So when I substitute the least frequency from the bandwidth, I need to use a variable capacitor with maximum value. Why? It's pure mathematics. I'm not using any other logic. You look at the equation and tell me. They both are
Inversely proportional.
inversely proportional to each other. So you will calculate C max is equal to 1 by 2 pi into root of 200 into 10 power minus 6. So the square root of C max into F least is 800 kilohertz. So 800 into 10 power 3. So when you solve this and square on both the sides, you will get the maximum value of the capacitance. Similarly, if you want minimum value of capacitance, the frequency that you need to substitute should be maximum. That part I'm leaving it to you. Okay, so you will get the maximum and the minimum value of variable capacitor, and that will give you the range of that variable capacitor. Okay, can I rub this?
Sir, what is the hint trying to say, sir?
For tuning the natural frequency, the frequency of the, see, wherever they say the frequencies of something should be equal to frequency of natural, something like that, no, they are saying it should be under resonance condition. That is
Okay.
the thing. Okay. So wherever this word natural frequency comes from, imagine they are trying to indirectly speak about resonance. That is the maximum hint, even if you don't read the complete statement. Okay. Can I rub this? Eleventh. So figure shows an LCR circuit connected to a variable frequency of 230 volt source. L is 5 Henry, C is 80 microfarad, and R is 40 ohm. Determine the source frequency which drives the circuit in resonance. So how do we calculate the resonance frequency? By 2 pi root LC. L is there, C is there, substitute will get the answer. Second, obtain the impedance of the circuit and amplitude of the current at resonating frequency. So how will you calculate the impedance of the circuit? You will write root of R square, correct? Root of R square plus XL minus XC the whole square. Guys, am I right? Yes or no?
Sir, they're saying resonance condition, sir.
Very good. Very good. That is what I was reading. That is the reason I asked multiple times. Obtain the impedance of the circuit at resonating frequency. At resonating frequency, I told you already. So don't do this mistake, okay? Impedance in Bathon, don't write it off. At resonance, what will happen? Z will be equal to R. How much is that? It's 40 ohm. And what is going to be the amplitude of current at the resonating frequency? I naught will be equal to E naught divided by R. Right, calculated, you will get the answer. All the things are given in the problem. So how will you find E naught, guys? The EMF that they have given is RMS, correct? How will you find E naught? E naught will be √2 times ERMS. Here it will be √2 into 230, the whole divided by R, that is 40. These two will get cancelled. So this is the amplitude of current at resonating frequency. Okay, what is the answer for C? Determine the RMS potential drops across the 3 elements of the circuit. Will you be able to do it?
Could you just tell the steps we have to follow for C, sir?
For which one? Third one, huh?
Yes, sir. The procedure.
Okay.
We should do first.
What you have to do now? See, this has an RMS value. There will be VRMS here. There will be
Yes, sir.
VRMS across the capacitor and VRMS across the inductor. So there is only one formula, VRMS. Across the resistor, you can write it as IRMS into what? Into the resistance. Similarly, VRMS across capacitor. VRMS across the capacitor is how much? It is IRMS
into C.
into
XC.
XC, correct? Adhe mari, inge VRMS will be equal to IRMS into XL. But the only thing is, your job is to find what is the value of IRMS. So IRMS is equal to ERMS divided by Z. ERMS எவ்வளவு கொடுத்திருக்காங்க?
230.
230 divided by, in this case, how will you find Z? See, here they didn't mention about resonance. So Z should be root of R square plus XL minus XC the whole square. Purida?
Yes.
So here you will find, using this one, you will get the IRMS value. Whatever value you get, take it, substitute it here, here, and here. That will give you the value of all the three.
And then for resonating frequency, sir, we'll substitute.
No. This is what they say. Had it been resonating frequency, then Z would have been equal to R. This is a different part, no? Show that the potential drop across the LNC combination is 0 at resonating frequency. The reason, so what they're asking is, when you draw a phasor diagram, this is VL, and this is VC. So during resonating condition, what will happen? Here current will be I into XL. Here current will be I into XC. Since at resonance, XL is equal to XC, what can you say? IXL will be equal to IXC. So they both are opposite vectors. Will they not get cancelled?
Yes, sir.
So that is what they asked us to prove it here. So how you are supposed to write? Like, see, had it been subjective, how you are supposed to write this? Since VL and VC are out of phase by 180 degrees, and they have equal magnitudes at what condition? At resonance condition. Not during all the other times. Only during resonance condition they have equal magnitudes and their directions are opposite. That is, you should say that they are out of phase by how much value? 180 degrees. Correct? That is the reason why it is becoming
Okay,
zero.
sir.
Maybe this can be asked as an assertion reason question also. So at that time you should have this logic in your mind. Another, see, what I'm suggesting everyone is, just because it is MCQ, assertion reason, and case-based studying, don't ignore anything. This is even more challenging than subjective. At least for subjective, understand you'll have step marks. Here, I don't know how they are going to give step marks also, because it's going to be an OMR sheet. Please understand, okay? So ensure you put in more effort. That is the reason I'm very particular that you guys work on assignment and come to me before I start solving it. If I solve, it is only my knowledge that you're going to have. If you do it, you will at least do some research while solving the problem. So that if you do mistakes that will be in your head, you will understand that you're not supposed to repeat it next time. Okay. So please ensure you work more hard. It is not sufficient. Clear, guys? So with this, we are
Yes.
done. Additional exercise problems for this chapter you can read because they're very tough. Okay, they will not ask additional exercise problems. Those are generally for competitive exams only. If you're preparing for JEE or NEET, then you can do it. For the time being, I would not suggest for term 1. But if you're confident with the basic problem, then you can do it. That is up to you. Okay, that's it, guys. So what I will be doing is tomorrow and Wednesday. I'm telling you beforehand, so okay, you'll be getting a message also. So tomorrow and Wednesday, what I'll be doing is I'll be uploading 2 assignments, and if possible on Thursday also I'll do it. So you have to work on these 3 assignments, which are broken down into 2 chapters, and it is according to the term 1 portions. Like I have taken only MCQs. Listen to this carefully. I've taken only MCQs, assertion reason based questions, and source case study based questions, or whatever you call source based questions, whatever you call. So I've taken only these 3, where when you're submitting the answer sheets in the assignment tab, you need to ensure that you write the reason behind it. Don't just write the option and leave it. I repeat, you're not solving the paper for my sake. You're doing it for yourself. Once I go through the paper, only if you write the subjective part, I will understand where you're lacking. If not, I cannot help you. At that point, don't ask me for any other extra. So please have this clear in your mind that you need to write the answer. You need to write the explanation for everything when you're submitting the answer sheet. During exam, OMR sheet, those things are different. That is none of my business. But I want to ensure that all the mistakes are corrected before your exam. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes. Good. Okay. So make sure you work hard. You can reach out to me at any point. I'll definitely respond within 3 to 4 hours a day, because I'm recording a lot of videos in these days. So I'm a little bit busy. But you message me, I'll definitely respond back to you with your questions or whatever doubt you have. Please reach out. No issue. Okay. That's it from my side, guys. The remaining things you solve and reach out to me. That's it. It's easy. Okay. Are there any other doubts that you have in your mind?
Sir, assignment questions will be from all lessons, right, sir? Like all the term 1 lessons, right?
For term 1. But it will be broken. You'll have 3 assignments, right? It will be broken into 2 chapters. 2 or 3, depending on the toughness. Like one assignment will contain only 3 chapters, something like that. Apart from this, I suggest you guys to revisit the papers that I'm conducting as test also, because those questions are slightly tougher versions. You might see, I got some reports saying that the 4th chapter test was slightly tough, but trust me, if you are able to correct your mistakes in this paper, board exam paper will be easy. It is always better to be prepared for the worst. So yeah, Anala, so what you're supposed to do is, you need to work on the previous question papers also, and this week concentrate on the assignments I'm giving. After these things, you concentrate on the question papers. Sharia. That's it. Any other doubt, guys?
No doubt, sir.
Okay, then. Do well. All the best. Keep preparing and reach out for doubts.
Sir,
Tell me.
sir, actually, I got my materials and all recently, sir. I just wanted to ask that if we follow NCERT and then solve those questions, that's enough, no, sir, for both.